Hey guys, Mike with Caveman, and this is one of our videos where we are going to go in depth on some of the features of our brand new bacon wrap. Now today what we are going to focus on is the actual application and versatility of our bacon wrap. So we designed the bacon wrap in a very specific way, and that was to make up for a lot of the pitfalls of the other handguard protectors that are out there on the market already. They tend to be a standard size. Sometimes you have to opt specifically for an accessory cutout if you want to adapt to an accessory that you already have on your setup. And we wanted to just sidestep all of that. And the way we did that was through the shape and size and the way you install our bacon wrap. Now our bacon wraps are about 31 inches long and about 2 inches wide. And as you can see, they have a lot of stretch. And what that means is that no matter what type of setup you're running, whether you're just doing a pretty straight and simple handguard, you can just run it along the length that way. Or if you're running a lot more accessories, you can find a way to make our bacon wrap work for whatever system you're running. If you only want grip in a certain area, or if you only perch your rifle on an obstacle in a specific area, then you can just put the bacon wrap on that area. So while there's no exact way to install your bacon wrap, there are a couple of what I would consider best practices that we will go over in this video, so that once you get yours, you can have a good idea and your feet are already hitting the ground running on how you want to apply it to your setup. Now another advantage of the bacon wrap is the fact that A, it's toolless, so you don't have to pull out anything special to get it installed. You just wrap it around and tuck it, which we'll go over. But the other nice thing is if you don't like how you set it up on your handguard, once you start using it, maybe it's too bulky in one spot or whatever the case may be, you just unwrap it and go for it again. So that's one nice thing of the bacon wrap, not only the versatility of the install, but the speed of the install and the speed of a reinstall. So wrap it around your rig, give it a shot, try it however many times makes most sense for you until you're happy with what you end up with. All right guys, so I wanted to go over some best practices for installing the bacon wrap. Now, this may not all apply to however makes the most sense for you, but we found that there's a couple things that if you consider, tend to give you the best experience when doing your install. So as you'll see, I'm installing this on a plain handguard, which is a great application for the bacon wrap. If you don't want to run a foregrip on your setup, the bacon wrap can give you a lot of that same grip profile that the foregrip can offer without having any extra accessories sticking out at the end of your rifle, if that's something you're looking for. But when installing the bacon wrap, we found that you want to go from the bottom to the top, and that's for a very specific reason. With the grip the bacon wrap offers, it allows you to really get a handle on things and really pull it into your shoulder as you're engaging. With that force being pulled back, we found that if you install from the front to the back, you tend to get a little bit of rolling on the silicone itself. So just install from the back to the front, so when you're bringing those forces back towards you, you're not getting that rolling and it stays comfortable. So you've got your bacon wrap going, and now you want to know how you're going to finish it. Between the Tactisil texture that we've got and the inside of the bacon wrap, which is just your standard silicone that's pretty sticky, all you have to do is tuck it back underneath itself in a location that makes the most sense. This may take a couple tries for whatever works for you, but in this case, I'm just going to stretch out an existing wrap of the bacon wrap, leave it over the top, smooth it out so there's no bumps or anything that's uncomfortable, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay exactly put until you deliberately pull it off if you feel you need to reapply it, or you want to clean it or service your rifle or anything like that. In an application like this, you have different considerations to take into account. For example, how tightly you pull the bacon wrap over a pressure switch. Do you have cable management that you're trying to consider? How do you generally grip your rifle, and how much material do you want on that part of your grip? Are there any air gaps that tend to have the most heat, coming through that you need to account for? And so every wrap is going to look a little bit different, but that's one of the nice things about the versatility of the bacon wrap. It doesn't really matter. And if you try it, you go out, you go do your practice or whatever it is you're doing at the range, and you don't like it, you just unwrap it and you try it again. All right, another consideration you might have for your system is whether or not you are direct impingement or you are piston driven. Now, if you are piston driven, you have obviously gases that are venting at your gas block. You can wrap that up with the bacon wrap. You may not want to for whatever the case may be, but just so you're aware, in our testing, we haven't had any problems with that at all. It has not changed the cycling dynamics in any way. And when we unwrapped the bacon wrap there was just some soot on the inside of the silicone. Because silicone, it doesn't start getting damaged from heat till about 550 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you can get sustained temperatures up that high, then it just chars. Silicone does not melt. It's not going to leave any residue anywhere on your rifle. But just something to consider with the dynamic approach of the bacon wrap, you know, how it's going to fit best for your setup. Another point that has been brought up a lot that I want to address here is talking about airflow through your handguard and how the bacon wrap affects that. I'm going to go into it a little bit more on the section where I talk about, you know, heat transfer through your handguard and the heat protective properties of the bacon wrap, but I wanted to touch briefly here in regards to install. So again, if you have any concerns about airflow through your rifle, which some people do, some people don't, it really depends on what you're shooting, how you're shooting, the ambient temperature, a million different variables. So just adapt it to whatever makes sense for you. In this case, I just wrapped the bacon wrap around the foregrip, so I got that extra grip up front. I've got some purchase protection if I'm gonna be, you know, banging against any obstacles or anything like that, but I still have plenty of handguard uncovered to make sure that I'm getting some airflow going through, but I'm protected exactly where I need it. So as you guys can see, when we say one size fits most, we really do mean it. So no matter what kind of rig you're running, the bacon wrap can work for you. So be sure to head over to our website now so you can lock in that $29.99 launch price, which is 25% off the usual price. And remember that this is one part of a 4-part series where we are going to go in depth on the bacon wrap and many of its features and applications. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Again, my name is Mike, this is Caveman LLC, and we'll see you in the next one.